Hello, gentle beings. Welcome. This is third place for the replay competition. Now, I am going to be doing third, second, and winner all today because, well, two reasons. I don't want to waste your time, and there are some special things in the, particularly the EU gift shop at the moment, such as the Black Dog and the KV5, so I want to make sure I can have everything up before then. I'm just going to adjust the settings. Okay, there we go, now we can see a little clearer. This is a replay from patch 9.13, so I'm actually surprised that XVM is working. But as we can see, CJ is a very, very good player. He resides in the Flame clan currently in Swan. You're probably not going to be surprised when I tell you that this replay is falling into the awesome category, and the reason mainly for that is because it was such a fun gameplay to watch, because you can really see everything. This is 90. You can really see while watching this gameplay so clearly what CJ was thinking throughout it, and it's really fun and entertaining gameplay to watch. So obviously the Conqueror is an amazing tank. 5.71 rams per minute, 0.33 accuracy, 1.9 second aim time, 259mm of pen with AP, and it gets APCR as its premium with 326. That was close. And he's come up here to work his 7 degrees of gun depression with his 254mm of frontal channel armor. The great thing about the Conk is that it's one of the reasons top clans use 215Bs in clan wars as well as T1 T5s, and it's because it doesn't matter whether the enemy fire heat shells at this when it's hull down, because the frontal channel armor of the Conk and 215B really relies on angle rather than just more thickness of frontal armor. It's not like an E100, which just has a base thickness at the front with a tiny bit of angle. That won't work against heat shells, so just pen it anyway the majority of the time. But 215B, that is 160, and that's like 60. But there's really no caliber gun that is going to overmatch the top of that, because it's at such an angle that it's an automatic ricochet on top of there. So that's what's so effective when hull down, because it doesn't matter how much pen you've got if the angle is going to bounce you anyway. To pen the target of the 215B and Conk, you really need to land a shell on this flat part there, and that is exceedingly hard to do. 155mm guns can overmatch that, but the only one in this game is the T30, so not much one in that area. Now, for seeing a weakness in the town and not seeing much to his strengths up in the middle, or not much like required, and he's relocated over into the town. That's an unfortunate shell off the WZ, and prioritizes damage into the T30, who is using the stock gun. He's using that 120. I want to say 122. But to be honest, I don't know on the T30. You'd figure it might be 128, rivaling the alpha damage of the Germans, but I cannot remember. Bounce is another shell, and this is another thing that's so remarkable about this replay. The Conk has 130mm of frontal armor. It doesn't really exceed 200mm of frontal armor anywhere along the front of the hull, which for a tier 9 heavy tank is just mind-blowingly bad. And I was wondering, it looked like he got penned in the turret there, but I think it was just in the lower plate. And the lower plate is garbage on this tank, absolute garbage. But the upper plate is just so bad as well. Speaking of upper plates, that WZ is tentative pike nose that he has, matching that of WZ-1194, as you might expect, just cost him his life in that situation. And now, CJ knows with the 5.71 lamps per minute, he's going to beat the reload of that T10, so wants to push his advantage. But you can see him looking to the left, he's concerned about flanking fire, both from that T43 and the T30. But the T30 has decided, instead of staying here and prioritizing damage onto the tier 9 heavy tank, he is going to chase a half health Type 62. It's fair to say that CJ is fairly grateful for that decision by that T30, because were it not for that, he would undoubtedly have died in this game. Well, he would have died sooner in any case. Alright. Takes out the T10, and now we're going to make a decision. What's left in the town? There's a T30, T43, IS-3 in proximity to the engagement I will refer to as the town. And he's got an IS-3A, 1390, T4 super pushing coming in from the north of the map. And at this point, CJ's a good enough player to know that he's going to make a decision. You've either got to be able to fight from one flank. At the moment, he's surrounded by the enemy team's forces. The only way you can win this game is to push out aggressively through one flank, kill the tanks there so that he can turn around and deal with the ones from the other side. And he's got to do that quickly enough, because people like that T54 and that 1390 are going to be on his ass very, very quickly. So you can see him, and this is what I mean about this screenplay, you can see him calculating, just looking around, thinking this exact thing. Okay, I need to kill these guys here, so that it's fun to watch a really good player tackle a game like this, and just think about what they're thinking. The IS-3 manages to bounce a shell off of him. This game was so unique for that. You don't expect to bounce things in the Conqueror. And I mean, the IS-3's got 0.4 accuracy. You wouldn't... Oh, bless him, he fired HE. That was ambitious, thinking that would do any damage. Okay, so the T30's chilling there. He sneaks a shot and bounces the T30. Probably a misplay on the part of CJ there, not thinking that T30 had the awareness. He's just fired at the super version, and the T30 is shooting a Yak target 88. Picks up the super version with a bit of a high roll, making up for his low roll, and now it's just him and the Type 62 against 5 enemy tanks. And can he get a high roll? Yes, he can on the T54. Where's the T30? There he is, waiting until he was reloaded to come round the corner and die fruitlessly. Wow, that T30. Wow. Okay, so let's go thought processes. Obviously, when you're outnumbered in water tanks, the only thing you can do is to display aggression, especially if you've got a target in front of you that is in a situation like this. I mean, what the T43 wants to do is just kite him around the corner, and if I was that T43, or if that T43 was a skilled player, it would be, I'm not going to say he couldn't, but it would be very, very challenging for CJ to win this, because I would just kite him around this corner here. I would wait for my IS-3 to come out, I would kite him out into line of fire of the artillery. Now, CJ is not so dumb as to take a bait like that, so what I expect would happen in that situation is I kite him around this corner, he'd go into this alleyway right here, and try and disengage. He would know that he probably couldn't catch me around this corner, and he would just disengage, try and make the engagement better, maybe try and check out the enemy arty. That takes a serious problem out of the equation, and then he can focus up on these guys. But I certainly wouldn't engage him alone while I know that I got an IS-3A approaching from the other flank and an artillery in play. But the T43 does not have that kind of awareness, and he just... I mean... you've got to be grateful for this, and I mean... it's difficult to look at this situation and say, yeah, CJ is playing very, very well. He is. But he's playing at a level that I would fully expect him to be capable of. There's nothing in this game that particularly challenged him as a player, but I just really enjoyed the gameplay. It was really fun to watch, and he's firing premium shells here, and look at this positioning. Obviously, using the neck of the dead tank is pretty basic. He's just created it there, and it's in a perfect place. But what he's also thinking about, and you can see this from his movements of the camera, is the enemy arty. He doesn't want to push out of this location, and if you observe, as this engagement unfolds, he's going to constantly be looking behind him, just thinking, I'm going to get pigged, I'm going to get pigged, pig! And yeah, that's basically his thought processes. You can see if we can get an early shot. The IS-20 comes blazing around the corner, and 0.46 accuracy on the IS-20A. That's different from 0.4 on the IS-20. It means they plows the shell directly into the wall. The CJ is still outnumbered, so wants to mount aggression if he can. And you'd be feeling a lot more confident here if it was an IS-20. The IS-20A has a reload that is significantly better than the IS-20, being sub 10 seconds for him to have that 390 alpha damage. And the problem is that that's going to mean that it's all possible for this IS-20 to get a second shot into CJ a lot quicker. I mean, CJ will know that, so he'll engage this guy quite differently from how he might engage an IS-20. Now, can he use the neck of that super pushing? Is that in position for him to be able to go hold down? Again, doesn't want to expose himself until the Aston comes all the way back. He manages to bait a shell, and look at him, he's just looking behind him. He knows that Artie, he doesn't want to pressure that IS-28 because he'll go out into the line of fire of Artie, and this is just awareness. He knows that he's above a one-shot for that IS-28, but one hit or one miss from that M12 will send him down to that one-shot margin, and the IS-20 will then be able to push his health advantage onto CJ, and to just take him out while taking the alpha damage onto himself. Right now, he's got that two-shot advantage over the IS-20. The IS-20 cannot kill him in one shot. If he goes out and attacks aggressively right now, he will throw that away and most likely lose the game, because that Artie will be looking. And he knows that. He's reversing back into cover. He's not going to expose himself. He's waiting for an opportunity. He gets the drive wheel on the IS-20 as he angles. The IS-20 as he angles it too much, and that is the benefit of an repairing right there. Repairing before the IS. Oh! Well, that was unexpected. I need to change the music again. Okay, my apologies. So, CJ on 8 kills, 7,200 damage. Now he's got to hunt for the pig. Now, the CJ, the Conk does carry beautiful, beautiful air shells. These are similar to those found on, well, exactly the same as those found on the Tortoise. 120mm of pen and 515 alpha damage. But the M12 is a tier 7 arty. It is not going to have enough health to take a shot from the Conk with standard AP. So he's not going to be loading those shells right now. Now, I really enjoyed this gameplay. As I said, I thought it was great fun to watch. It was such an engaging game, and I think it's one that so many people can learn from, because if you've got that level of experience, I think I have, that I can look at a replay and I can read the actions of a good player a lot easier than I can of a bad player, because a bad player can be doing a good thing by accident. Whereas someone like CJ, you know there's going to be purpose and intent behind the moves that he makes. And it's fascinating to me to look at a game like this and say, yeah, he's doing that because of this, I would do this, it's such good material to work off. Now, will he find the Scumpig? Will the Scumpig sneak away? Will the Scumpig one-shot him? You've got to remember this is an American pig, and it can easily take out CJ in one shot. The Conk not having the best resistant armor to those massive caliber, high explosive shells. And I will say something about the judging of the replays here. I know that CJ has a decent amount of premium tanks. Obviously, he's a very good player. He's committed a lot of time, a good deal of money, I imagine, into other tanks. And this replay might have landed higher, but my other two, obviously the second and first, I feel like will make far better use of a premium tank. Well, not better use, but they'll get more out of it, and wow. Well, now the Conch is a speedy tank. Think the M103 with just a tiny bit faster. It's like 0.3 faster or something like that. So you're looking at M103 speeds, if you can imagine that ballpark. But that is the worst possible time for the enemy RT to get into the cap circle. And this western cap on Arctic region, Windstorm, is not easy to defend. There is a massive lock in the cap, which people have hidden behind multiple times when I've been trying to defend this cap circle. And it's resulted in me not being able to get a shot, and I'm winning the game by cap. Now, CJ's already thinking about how this engagement's going to go, and he's loaded a hair shell. Now, my thoughts behind that is that he's probably thinking about that knot behind in the cap circle, and he's thinking, I may well need to splash around that lock. If the time gets too low, I may need to just lob a shell to see if I can damage the tracks of that RT. And you, obviously at this point, it's clear that he is sitting behind the lock, and there's 10 seconds left on the cap. It's up to 90, 91, 92, and there's the pig. We don't need to find a penning shot, and
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
cooked pig to finish off. A wonderful game by CJ here. I don't know. I very, very much enjoyed the game. It's not the best game CJ's ever sent me, not by a long shot. He's appeared in competitions before with up to 10,000 damage, I think, in an Object 263. But I love the constant display of skill during this game. Really, he didn't put a foot long at any stage, other than when perhaps he went for that shell on the T30. But other than that, just a thoroughly enjoyable game, and I think a deserved winner of the place in this competition. Gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and do the second and first place, so look forward to those, and yeah, farewell.
Jingle! Sure. No. It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Can you stop stamping, please, killer?